Growing up as a Muslim American millennial in post 9/11 America, I became interested in the mechanics of social change. In my youth, I studied strategies to improve public perception of Muslims and also mobilize the community to take ownership of its public narrative. Like many who are passionate about social change, I found myself in the nonprofit sector and in politics. I founded two nonprofits on behalf of the Muslim American community, and I worked as a political strategist at the DCCC, helping elect Democrats to Congress. Later on, as a consultant focused on social impact, I advised numerous foundations, nonprofits, and companies addressing issues related to housing, workforce preparedness, and financial empowerment and inclusion. Through my work and my own personal life experiences, I developed an obsession with understanding the phenomenon of wealth inequality, from racial inequities in home and asset ownership to capital investment in underserved communities and the disparate impact it has on political power. As you can see, the progressive movement has done a good job leveraging so many tools to advance social equity. However, I believe it has neglected a major strategy, and that is the power of the private sector and the capital markets. The private sector is the part of our national economy that is not owned by the government. So anything from small business to large corporations. It is responsible for employing 82% of our workforce and providing 75% of all salary and wage income for Americans. Capital market is a financial market where investors, including everyday people with savings, governments, and financial institutions, invest their money to make more money. The stock market is the most famous capital market that we know of. The amount of wealth and assets flowing through capital markets at any given moment dwarfs total government spending in the United States. Imagine how much more effective our movement could be with the power of capital markets and private sector on our side. Our lives, culture, and our livelihood are shaped by capital markets and the private sector. From the clothes we wear, the food we eat, the jobs we have, and even your futile dreams of becoming a TikTok star, these are all shaped by capital markets. The underinvestment of capital catalyzes wealth inequality in a cycle of forms. Underinvestment fuels disinterest from our political system in our underserved communities, and political disinterest fuels further underinvestment. The poor become politically disposable. We have issues that needed to be addressed yesterday. The public and nonprofit sectors cannot match the velocity at which wealth inequality is wreaking havoc on our communities and politics. By leveraging capital markets and the private sector, we can deliver immediate solutions. Also, capital markets in the private sector are versatile. Not only can they deliver much needed services to underserved communities faster, but they can also provide a way for these communities to have access to capital markets, thus creating intergenerational cycles of wealth and prosperity. This is an all-hands collaborative approach. Capital markets in the private sector need our expert guidance, and we must keep them accountable and also do our best to shape an ecosystem that creates new norms that aligns their incentives with our social impact objectives. So an example is the low-income housing tax credit, which has created 3 million new affordable housing units. That's 90% of all affordable housing construction today. This is an example of how a federal incentive nudged developers to realign their business model to address a pressing problem. So what does this all mean, and where can we go from here? As I think about all the leaders in this audience, here are a couple of ways I propose that we expand our strategy. We need businesses to be a lifeblood of our vision for equity and inclusion. Our economic and financial system needs innovative policy interventions to direct capital towards underserved communities and promote new corporate norms that align for-profit enterprises with our social impact objectives. Policy can help mandate ethical trade practices, require social impact reporting, incentivize healthy food distribution, and so much more. Our movement also cannot be disconnected from the vast flow of capital that shapes our daily lives. We need driven progressives to be leaders in the world of finance and investment management. Financial institutions have tremendous and immediate influence over issues that we have dedicated our lives to solving. This includes capital available for entrepreneurs of color to start businesses, resources for affordable housing creation, infrastructure spending, and weaning ourselves off of fossil fuels. We need a new socially conscious heuristic for how capital gets employed. Where the money goes, the world goes. Our country and our economy and democracy are entrenched in crises that are quickly approaching points of no return. This urgency calls for bold solutions, and as progressive leaders, we need to confront our biases toward the private sector and the capital markets. Engaging them with our movement is an important step towards progress. Thank you.